Talks between Kentucky and Calipari have intensified. The two sides are moving closer to an agreement that could make him the highest paid coach in college basketball. Andy Katz has details on that in just a second. Now, there were local reports today that said he met with his Memphis players today, and they emerged believing that he was on the verge of leaving. Let's give you a sense of the developments as they've taken place over the last couple of days. Calipari met with University of Kentucky officials last night. He met with officials at Memphis and the players today. And as we said, talks now continue to progress toward Kentucky making Calipari the highest paid coach in the country. Here's our own Andy Katz, who's following it all day long. Andy, to the second, what's the latest?
Well, I can tell you that Kentucky right now is waiting to hear from John Calipari to make sure this is a done deal. But at this moment, it is not a done deal. There's some final details that need to be worked out. They are expecting that there potentially could be a deal done by early as this evening. Now, as you just said, John Calipari meeting multiple times today with Memphis officials trying to make the final decision whether or not he will go to Kentucky and accept what I've been told by multiple sources is a contract that would roughly be around 8 years, $35 million. Now, Billy Donovan in Florida was the highest paid head coach in college basketball. If he won back-to-back national titles, getting it $3.5 million from Florida.
All right, so this would top that. Now, Calipari is an exceptional recruiter. He had Derrick Rose, of course, the #1 pick in the draft at Memphis, and his most recent recruiting class is considered outstanding as well. Take a look at this. This, according to ESPNU, the top classes, the rankings show 2 of the top 4 players in America, Andy, have committed to Memphis, including the #1 player in the country, that Javier Henry. Also, point guard John Wall, who's undecided about what school to attend, has had Memphis on his short list for a while and has reportedly been leaning in that direction in recent weeks. So, Andy Katz, could Calipari be bringing a team with him to Lexington?
He could. When I spoke to John Calipari about a week ago, and this was a possibility. This is before Billy Gillespie was fired, but it all looked like he was going to get fired. We talked about this exact situation. And he basically said, look, if I were to do this, DeMarcus Cousins could follow me. Certainly John Wall, who he's been recruiting for Memphis, could follow him as well. Because as you said there, Cousins is a commitment, not a signee. You can't sign a national letter of intent in the spring signing period until mid-April. It's a month-long period. So, yes, he could be bringing multiple players with him to Kentucky. If Jody Meeks and Patrick Patterson were to stay instead of deciding to declare for the NBA draft, Kentucky would have to be looked at as the favorite in the SEC next season. And certainly with today's news that Florida sophomore guard Nick Calathis has decided to declare for the NBA draft but not seek an agent. So Kentucky suddenly, if John Calipari goes there, could be the favorite next season.
All right, Andy Katz with the very latest here on the John Calipari situation. Now you can see why the folks at Kentucky may be seeking a big name like this. Since joining the SEC in the 1932-33 season, Kentucky has played 76 seasons, and this one was only the 5th time in the school's history they have not had a winning record in conference play.